His wife describes him as being recklessly generous, and I describe him as like relentlessly passionate.
He has struck me over the years as taking pride in doing some of those little things himself.
It's easy to get people to show up, when the surf's high. But the people that really make a difference and change life and change the trajectory of other young people's lives are the people that focus on the ripples, not the waves. I've been, fortunate, and I say fortunate. I got hit by a car as a kid and was in a really bad accident, should not have lived. Deal with the realities of life as a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid. You recognize that life is frail, and took a third of my settlement. I got a $30,000 settlement and took about $10,000 to build a swimming pool in our backyard because the doctor said that would give me the best chance for recovery. So I learned early on that life is fragile. It's not easy. People need to make adult decisions, and people need to learn how to build their own pool. Fortunately, I was blessed to have an opportunity to negotiate the purchase of the Vikings from Red McCombs. And then kind of once the deal closed, I had planned just to go back to private practice. Ziggy, Mark, and Lenny said, who's going to help us with the transition? And so I said, I'll help out. And actually July 4th of 2005, after we'd worked on the deal for about 18 months, with the mindset that, I'll just help from a transition standpoint, and kind of one day turned into starting my 14th season here. For them to entrust a multi-billion-dollar asset into the hands of, just be very blunt, to a black male in today's world, is something that I will forever be grateful for.
As one of the first and top African-American leaders and executives in the NFL, I think he inspires me to know that anything is possible.
And for us, when we came here, because my wife is incredibly positive, we focused on what Minnesota and what the people here stand for.
He's changed the culture of the Vikings organization. I think he and other leaders have really done that. They've built a family.
We structured the organization 3 years ago, and 9 of our vice presidents, 3 of which are women. And, we launched a women's initiative program. We have a Gen Z advisor. We're hosting the LGBTQ symposium.
That family has continued to grow into this very sophisticated organization that is doing really great, amazing things in and for our community.
We have a fiduciary responsibility to be a member of the Vikings, and that goes for every person in that organization to be involved in the community.
Kevin has been a leading executive at the Minnesota Vikings and has always been a part of our community building efforts, our fundraising efforts with them. With that relationship, Kevin wanted to start making a difference for patients and families himself and for his family. In 2014, he and his wife, Greta, created a new fund called Carolyn's Comfort Children's Cancer Emergency Assistance Fund. Kevin was inspired to create this fund in honor of his sister, Carolyn Knox Warren, who eventually ended up passing away from brain cancer.
Buy glasses for someone who just had surgery, or buy 2 new tires for a mom who's driving in from Iowa, or put somebody up in a hotel for 2 nights. It doesn't matter what it is. It's all tied around dealing with this horrible disease we call cancer.
In my school, I have mostly students that fall at or below the poverty line, and mostly students of color. When I talked with Kevin on the phone, it was the type of business of, let's do this. Let's get this work done. So you have children, they need backpacks with school supplies, let's do it. What do you need?
He thinks big, he thinks broadly, he wants to have great impact, but he also cares about the smallest details.
Shortly after the backpacks were put together, he wanted to see personally what was in each backpack.
The pencils and the paper, are they important? Sure they are. That's part of the learning process. But bigger than that, it really is about hope. And what it says is, Kevin and Greta think you're important, and that we care about you, and that you can be great.
I view him very much and describe him very much to the children as someone who I cannot wait until you are filling his shoes and beyond.
It's not about the waves, it's about the ripples. If we can just kind of focus on those, that those are okay, but a lot of ripples will really change the world.